What's going on, man? Welcome to the Pro Wrestling Shoot. I am Jesse Carter. Joining with me today is Conrad Kushman from Everything Pro Wrestling. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, Jesse? What's happening?
Nothing much, man. I'm ready to talk some video games. But before we do that, guys, we are sponsored now. That's right. You got to kick it over to the Manscaped. Guys, if you haven't used the Manscaped products, this stuff is golden, man. It is an awesome product. They send it to us. We tested it out. Yes, we tested it out. Amazing, man. They got everything that you need for good hygiene. Go and check it out. And when you're there and you go to check out, use our promo code PWShoot and save yourself 20% off at checkout and get some free shipping on us. Now that we're done with that and talking about our balls, let's get into some video games. Conrad, are you excited to talk about this?
Yes, absolutely. Wrestling video games, one of my favorite topics of all time. I think it's kind of a connection between us even and how we met, sort of with how we just knew the same people involved in video games. And then, oh, you like wrestling? Yeah, I love wrestling too. I got a podcast too. And it all just works. So this should be a pretty dope conversation to talk about some great wrestling video games.
Absolutely, man. There's a lot to dig into too when it comes to the AEW game and the virtual basement wrestling code. There's not too much that we know other than some roster on the wrestling code, and really nothing at all when it comes to the AEW games.
Yeah, there's some stuff out there, and there's some things that you're kind of left like, well, maybe, it's AEW games. I feel like I know less about rather than the wrestling code at this point. But that's within good reason, too. I'm sure they want to have some surprises and things that they're going to reveal later on. Wrestling Code's kind of taking you on the journey with them, which is appreciated. Like, we're still seeing roster members. They just announced, was it Shelly Martinez who just got announced?
Yes, Shelly Martinez, ago. Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, their roster is stacked.
100%. They've got a lot, even like ECW legends are in there. You've got guys who are recently released. You got Crime Time. You just have a bunch of different people on that roster that's going to make it fun. So I'm digging it right now. And shout out to Viking Size Gamer and Dre41. They're doing a lot of work on it. Big fan of both their YouTube channels as well. And Viking Size Gamer's working on the promotional manager side of things, which will be like their GM mode. And Dre41's doing the attire. So all those attires you see in like those little video clips they've been showing of like Scott Steiner and Muhammad Hassan, Dre41 did those like by hand, drawing them. So give the dudes their props, like beast.
Well, I hope that they show up in the chat today, because they did kind of interact with our tweet the other day, and they're kind of excited that we were going to talk about the game. But for right now, man, let's kick it over to a couple people that are in the chat currently. Got the homie Frodo right here. Let's get this shindig started. Already on it. Chad, hey, what's going on, Chad?
What's up, Chad?
And Chad also said, Conrad, where is your Mac Jones jersey?
Listen, keep it rolling. We're not talking sports. I don't want to hear anything about the Bills until draft time. my heart still hurts. We got a bunch here. I see you're rocking the Seahawks too. I peeped that.
I am, dude. I just picked up this badass hat in Vancouver. I've never seen it in red like this. It's dude, this hat's awesome. I had to pick it up, man. Had to cop that. Dope. Yeah, bro. I didn't mean to, Frodo. I'm sorry. I'm not even gonna put that up here, and I'm not gonna repeat it. Embarrassment. Anyway, Stephen Kelly, what's going on, man? Which is better, WWE versus AEW game? We don't know. Nothing's released yet. There's no way to tell. Brandon, what's going on, man? Brandon from the Rant and Rave podcast. Shout out to them, guys. Go check them out on YouTube every Thursday, I do believe.
I believe so. I know Rant and Rave as well. What's going on, Brandon?
And then, yeah. Chris, no trolling in this one, man. I see Chris has made his way into the chat. I'm reading the comments. Chris, go ahead, man. Break kayfabe. It's okay, man. We're not going to do the kayfabe thing over here. Go ahead and give us your thoughts on the WWE 2K22. He is a big creator when it comes to WWE 2K22. His cause were amazing. He was one of my favorite creators in WWE 2K22 when it came to original cause, not creation of current day wrestlers or anything like that.
You
He
mean,
made
did
his
you mean
he made his
20?
own. What was that?
You said 22. Did you mean 20?
Oh yeah, sorry. No, all the other games. Actually, he didn't even play 20. He was on 19. He was
Neither did
on.
we.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody played 20. We're not even gonna bring up that dumpster fire right here. B-Boy Skyline, what's going on, man? Welcome to
Hey,
the
what's
chat.
going on, Jordan?
Let's see here. B-Boy Skyline says WWE 2K19 held it down for 3 years. That's absolutely facts. I still have that game installed.
Same. Just in case you got to dust it off. And don't forget, too, if you're in the chat watching live, hit that like spike. And if you enjoy, why not subscribe to the Pro Wrestling Shoot? Show them some love.
Thank you for the shout out. Guys, we're actually going to do something new today, too. We're going to do call-ins to this show. I have the Roadcaster Pro. Everybody will be able to hear you. I have a number that you guys can call. Don't make me regret it. No, it's not my personal number. So trolls, you will be blocked. Don't worry about it.
Facts.
Let's see here. Brandon, how's it going, guys? It's going good, man. Hope your night's going well.
Hanging in there.
Steve Kelly, why is there AEW stars in WWE game? Well, the game has been being made for 2 years, so it's kind of hard to take everybody out. We'll get into that here in a little bit. We're going to talk about some AEW games first. I'm dead serious, though. The creation will dictate whether I buy the game. I know, Chris. I know how you feel on the creation suite. So he was really mad. He was a big fan of the paint tool. So when they started doing like downloadable images and you can make it easy for people to create creator wrestlers, he lost interest because he had that original flow with the paint. He was like one of the only dudes that I knew that he could use that paint tool flawlessly. I hated it with the joysticks and stuff.
Yes. Dude, those were annoying, bro. It felt like Etch and Sketch, and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah. Oh, Chad says, hey, Chris. Chris has got a friend in here. It's amazing. So yeah, I mean, let's kick it off, man. I don't want to run the stream over an hour, so I guess we'll get right into it. The AEW game, man. What to expect when there's really nothing released? We've seen a few screenshots, Conrad. We've seen we've heard the direction they're kind of going towards, which is the old N64, just pick up and play type game. Having fun. I'm kind of excited about this one. I'm normally a simulation guy, and I love the simulation games because I was a big fan of Madden and the NBA games, and NHL on EA was always fun to me. So simulation is always my thing, but this one seems to be heading in the direction of something good. And our boy Brian Williams is working on it. So, I mean, you already know.
Shout out to B and the Bombcast podcast, Graham too. But yeah, what's your all-time favorite wrestling video game, Jesse? Honestly, like if I said you could play one wrestling video game for the rest of your life, what are you picking?
Oh, dang. Well, currently, if I had to pick one right now, it would have to be WWE 2K19, man. I feel like.
You think that's the best game though of all time?
I don't think it's the best. I feel like if it's a game that I can play and continue to play with the creation suite and everything, keep updating it. I didn't think it was bad for the offline. Now, when it came to, I'm more of an online guy. I know you love the online stuff too. 2K19 had that search engine for the lobbies that I really didn't like. So I really didn't play that game for the online. My favorite online game and this is one that I just had the most fun in. It was either 2007 WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2007. I had a lot of fun in that one online. Or and this is unpopular, but I'm going to say it because I had a freaking blast on this game, and that was WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2011.
Okay.
Loved that game, dude.
That one we had a lot of fun with too. Like I used to do like leagues and stuff. Yeah, that's right. Dork alert right here, baby. But yeah, I used to do leagues.
I was in them too, man. Those were a lot of fun. So I don't blame you one bit.
More in common, baby.
I actually met Chris Williams. I met Chris Williams in one of those leagues.
Oh, that's where I met. Which crew were you in?
Oh man, it was on Chris
Williams probably freezing me in 09. Was that him?
Oh, dude, we were probably all freezing you in 09. Hey, we had to defend ourselves on that game. That game was wild, man. You
Yeah,
remember do you remember the creative guys that used to fly and float in the air and stuff like that? That was a lot of fun to deal with.
What was the game where they had the creative finisher? Those were the worst too. We
That
went
was
down
09.
yeah.
09. Where you can do like the million flips in the air and they just kind of stayed there and matrixed it out and
Kick all the way up, 15
yeah.
Stone Cold Stunners and then pin them.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I can't even remember what because we were on Xbox.
Yeah, you had to be for 07 because I don't remember playing 07 online. I think I had that for the 2 because then when I got the 3, 08 was our first game.
Oh no. We started the eFed stuff and we didn't start it. I joined somebody else's just randomly trying it out for the first time. And we eventually had our own eFed that didn't really do too well. So we just kind of stopped doing it. And that was on SVR 09. So
Yeah,
SVR 09 was one that we joined somebody. It was a pretty big eFed too, but that's where I met Chris Williams. It was, I met James on SmackDown versus Raw 2007 or 8. 08
nice.
is when I met him. So
yeah, 08 was some rough times, man. I already took Brian to task about that though.
Yeah,
I was like, bro,
game was something else.
Do something like that again.
Yeah, that game was something else, man.
It was different.
So what do you expect for the AEW game, man? What are you most looking forward? Like we got a couple screenshots. I don't got much to show on the AEW game, but we got a couple of them. What as you can see, like the graphics not close to a simulation style game, but it does give off some N64 vibes, but modern.
So what I'm seeing from this is I see a lot of No Mercy and Here Comes the Pain within this. The models remind me of like Here Comes the Pain, but then when I see that one, I think No Mercy. Look at the positioning, the stance of Hikaru Shida. It looks great. I love that Brian is able to work on this game. I don't know if he's doing the moves or what his position is right now within, but he's been a big move guy, and I absolutely love the fact if you watch the video for this one, you remember the opening one with like Omega and Jericho. Yes. Watch Hikaru Shida and how she hits the ropes on the spot where she does the knee. She hits the ropes the exact same way that she does, and I love that someone paid enough attention to that. And I know a lot of people in the beginning didn't like these models. They were bigger, they were bulkier, but it seems like now they're going more sim with the models. I don't know what you were thinking about that, Jesse. Like,
yeah, it seemed like they dimmed it down just a little bit. Here's kind of what you're thinking right here with the Darby Allin and Jungle Boy. But yeah, man, this is still giving off that No Mercy feel with better graphics, basically. That's what I feel like it is, man. But I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun. Everybody talks about No Mercy a lot.
I love it, bro. We can't. There will not be bad words about this.
Oh no, I'm not going to bash that game. All I remember from that game is that I had a lot of fun playing it. But I can't tell you anything about that game other than like I think I remember super tall ladders.
Yeah, they were pretty big in that game.
Yeah, and like knocking people off and some of the finishers were a lot of fun, but I haven't played that game since the N64. I'm kind of one of those guys that wants the upgrades here. I move on. I don't go back and play the old one unless you're WWE2K20. Then I go back and play the old one. But as for the No Mercy game, I really don't remember too much about it. I just remember having fun on it, dude. And I have that vibe with this game too. I feel like we're going to have a lot of fun with it. I don't know what they plan on doing as far as game modes. I'm assuming they're going to do their own general manager just to.
They've said no, Kenny. So really? I followed along pretty closely. Kenny has revealed that the GM mode that they put on like the app, I believe the app stores and stuff, that is going to be their general manager mode. So I don't know where they'll go from there, but I think there's I don't know, Jesse. Listen, there's a big opportunity, in my opinion, to take advantage of WWE's general manager mode. We'll get more into that, but what they're missing, if they can put it in, you have a chance to really make a lot of money. And I hope Kenny's like, well, let's reconsider. You know, maybe we can find a way to even link the games, the GM mode on the phone and to the video game. I would hope that there was something that they could do with that. I know that he said no, but I would consider switching it up. Is there something that you would want though from it? Like, I want the gameplay to be No Mercy, because the WWE game announced all their like control scheme, and it was like it's very strike heavy. And I'm like, when I play a wrestling game, dude, it's grappling. Like, I'm like, I want to do a big move. I don't want to punch you like that. I'll go play Mortal Kombat if I want to do that, or Seafood.
I am definitely more of a grapple guy myself. I enjoy that aspect of most of the 2K games and the way SmackDown versus Raw was doing their games. I loved how many options you had for different kind of moves, but their strikes were good too. So they incorporated good strikes in the old SmackDown versus Raw games, for better or worse. We'll get into that a little bit later, because I definitely want to dive into some of the stuff that I don't want to see in the new game. But
yeah, Kenny recently talked about it. There's rumors that we might be able to get something around maybe this week or next week. It sounds like they want to put something together and show us some models, and I don't know what other info he can give at this time.
I'd like to see a match at some point. Like, let's see a match. You know what I mean? You don't have to give us everything, but show us like what this gameplay is going to look like a little bit, you know?
Because I feel like every time we get a clip, it's something different, sort of.
Yeah.
Like, you get, oh, okay, this is like, we noticed the big hands, and now the hands are getting smaller each time, and the kicks have changed. And when it was Kenny and Chris, like, you saw some of the, like, I don't know how you describe it, like the little effects going around them. And you're like, okay, well, what's that? That's gone now, and it's different. So you kind of want to hear what they're thinking. And I hope that they're getting feedback from the community too. But how do you get that at this point? I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I have no idea. But they did originally say, when they first released those first images for the game, the Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega, that this was not a final product whatsoever. So they were just kind of showing you what direction they were going for. And I'm not sure, man. If it's strike heavy, I hope that it feels like you're connecting. That's my only complaint for most striking games, is that it just looks so bad.
Yeah, I think as long as it's not quick, if you go that No Mercy route of tap does a whole different set of moves versus hold, you can save yourself button space. You can kind of have those strong strikes. Like, if you're going to do the Kenny Omega knee, it's going to be hold down whatever the strike button is. Oh, okay, that works.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You could do a bunch of different stuff with that. The movesets are going to be insane for this. Like, I'm already imagining now what it would be like to play with like a Ray Phoenix versus Jungle Boy versus Darby Allin. Insane online with your friends, just insane.
So that's one thing that I do expect for the game to have. I hope that it has good online, and I hope that, like, I mean, with the wide range of move sets that all of these superstars have, or wrestlers have in AEW, it would be hard to just have a million strikes and no good grapples. I feel like they are going to go the No Mercy route, but I feel like it's going to go into a lot more detail than what we feel it is right now. It's so early right now that we can't even
that, but you got to temper expectations too. It's their first game.
Yeah.
What do you expect from them?
Well, they don't even have a release date.
Yeah. So, I mean, my prediction
come out
is
next
2023.
Year. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. I don't see it coming out in 2022 at all. It's probably going to be around, I want to say around summertime of 2023.
That's what I was going to ask you. What pay-per-view do you link it up with? Because they got to release this around a pay-per-view time to hype up the game.
Oh man, which one do they have around summertime? That's All Out, right?
Or Double or Nothing. I think you would go for.
Yep, I would go for All Out. That's their biggest pay-per-view. I would say All Out.
I would also say too, don't wait until quarter 4. I feel like every video game, this is just video game talk at this point. Every video game releases in quarter 4 for like Christmas time and everything. And I'm like, bro, I can't spend $300 million on video games because all 8 of you want to come out at the same time. Spread that shit out a little bit so I can feel better about it, at least if you're going to take the money.
Absolutely. So let's go with the comments a little bit. Frodo says, wish they would make a physical copy of the NWO version of WWE 2K22. Yes, absolutely, dude. That really bummed me out because that's the version that I usually get for these games, regardless of if it's good or not. I usually get the collectibles version because I like to collect stuff. That's just me. When it comes to wrestling stuff anyway, obviously, if you see my background, you can see, the two belt cases. They're not really lit up right now. I actually have the lights off, but I got two belt cases back there. I have a whole bunch of action figures behind me, all in their cases. So I like the stuff that they give me. I wish that they would release that kind of copy, man. Chris says Here Comes the Pain was his favorite game.
Respect.
Frodo says No Mercy was his favorite.
Diggity dog.
I waited too long for these comments, but Steve said that you were right. I don't know what what he was saying you were right to, but
that's all you gotta say. I like it.
Is online playing better than offline? Depends on how you look at it. A lot of people buy these games for the offline modes. I personally, I don't know. It depends. It depends on the game. For me, WWE2K19 was better offline. It was a good offline game. There's a lot of stuff they need to work out with their universe mode and all that kind of stuff. But if they would get more detailed in that, I feel like that offline would be fire. And you could do a lot of stuff. They need to make that online too, actually, the universe mode.
And AEW Games still has a lot of good stuff coming in too. Like they mentioned cross-platform, that's already on their mind. I love the fact that I think it's been mentioned too by Kenny that they don't want to release every year. It makes sense, bro.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it gives them more time to prepare. Guys, the call-in number, if you guys want to ask something about AEW, the video game, before we switch into Virtual Basements, go ahead and do that. If not, we will shut this banner down and we will start talking about that. We'll give it a couple of minutes. But yeah, I feel like there is just so much unreleased right now. It's kind of hard to judge anything, right? Because we just haven't seen anything in the game. What I would like to see is a dope cage match, because I do remember like the gimmick matches in No Mercy being a lot of fun. Like all those gimmick matches were so fun to play with friends that I hope that we get to see something like that. And I want to say I'd like to see at least 6 to 8 players online.
I think that's fair. That's a fair point at this point in the game.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we're next gen. What are we doing? Like, yeah, if we can't get a game out that has good online without lag, like give me a good server in a wrestling video game that can handle all those people on a match at the same time, and I'll be happy. You know what I mean? Like just give me a good server and eliminate all the spamming. Because if this is going to be a strike game, there's got to be some stuff that they go through to eliminate some of the spam moves. Do you remember like the chick? We used to call it the chick kick in WWE. It was like the chick toe kick. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So there was a whole bunch of stuff about WWE that pissed me off, and those
are things that when you pay attention to the online community, you would notice. Like, remember Rey Mysterio with it was like one of the left trigger buttons. He would do like that roll, bro. If you're gonna do that, like you got to pay attention to it. And I used to like harp on THQ and 2K for it. I'm like, dude, you guys have to pay attention to the moves that people are abusing. And they would like leave those moves in for years. And you're like, dude, it's still bad. Like,
yeah,
you can't do anything to it.
The toe kicks, all that stuff. So there was one thing that I really couldn't stand, and that was oh man, we used to call them third reversals. Or you can call them unblockables, however you want to, like anything that you couldn't physically reverse in a match. You know what I mean? Like, because in our old clan, the L2K clan, like we played by a certain set of rules, and we only found certain people to play with that actually wanted to play the game fair and fun and just to make it fair for everybody and make it more realistic, right? Because I was into simulation. A lot of our friends were into simulation. And there's these things called the third reversals that I just could not take, dude. And basically what that is when you go to grapple and somebody toe kicks you, you can't reverse that, right? Because you're in mid sequence for the other moves going on. There's going to be a lot of problems with that in every game, and I understand that. But if we can eliminate that from certain games like AEW or anything else, that would be for the best.
Yeah. And I think it's really smart too to focus on esports a little bit. Like that's got to kind of be the wave for some of them to think that way, that you could have tournaments, you get people play this for money. You want it like how Street Fighter is sometimes, where you get a big group of people and there's 10,000 people watching on Twitch. And you're like, bro, how the hell is this many people watching a Street Fighter match right now? But people love it. Man. That's what you want, though. That's money.
It's crazy, man. I see people watching some of the games on Twitch that blow me away. Like I'm really hard to please when it comes to video games. So I'm just hard to please. And I wish that I can get into some games like some people do. And I've seen some boring ass games being played on Twitch that had thousands of viewers in in the live chat or whatever, you know. It's crazy, man, but it's all good fun. Steven says we need better backstage play in wrestling games. I just want them to focus on the game in general. Like backstage is nice, but it seems like rinse and repeat, right? Like every at least for the 2K games, it seems like the same thing that you're getting.
I just want to be able to do like the regular moves backstage. It's kind of a like No Mercy had it right, man. You're just power bombing people through tables, bro. You're doing wrestling moves in the back. Like if I'm doing an arm drag in the locker room, that's what it is. That's what I pressed. Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of like this whole like you're punching and the guy's falling like 4 feet backwards like they do in real life. And you're like, that's not why I play this.
Yeah, it's wild. All right, man. It looks like we are not going to get any call-ins for this topic.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to call in.
Yeah.
We're just saying don't bring that nonsense.
Yeah. This number will be deleted by the end of this, I promise you. And there will be a new number next week to call in on. So I'll leave it up there just for a split second right before we're about to get into the wrestle code. Let's see here. Frodo says, I usually play offline because I suck online. I'll learn you up, brother. So shout out to Frodo, man. He actually got me an Xbox.
Nice.
He's a savior. Like I was going to get a PS5, man, but he got an Xbox. I'm going to buy an Xbox off of him. So like right in time before the WWE2K22 game comes out. So I'll finally be able to pre-order this weekend. Kind of excited about that, man. Shout out to him. Frodo, I will teach you how to play online, sir. We'll be owning noobs in no time. Hey, there's James. The ref pin count needs to be quicker. We're not on that yet, James. Yes, we are going to get there. Trust me. There's a lot of stuff we're going to be talking about. James, you got a minute? Call into the show, man. You just call my personal number, though. You don't have to call that one on the screen. I'll answer. I'm not giving my personal number out to everybody, though. Sorry, YouTube. Not happening. I already know how that goes. Then I'm going to have to change my number real quick. So, yeah, I mean, not much to think about when it comes to the AEW game yet. I just hope that there's cool gimmick matches. I'd like to see some cool barbed wire work because of that match with Moxley and Kenny Omega.
That would be fire if they could find a way to get that in.
That'd be a lot of fun, man. That'd be a lot of fun to do some stuff like that. Even it's weird to think, but a weird cinematic style match because of the what all went on during the time when there was no fans. When we got that awesome cinematic match with Darby Allin and Sting, that would be pretty cool to have something different that hasn't been really done in a wrestling video game before.
Yeah, Stadium Stampede would be good. They have a lot of
there you go.
Types they could do. I just feared that Stadium Stampede and what's their war games, the Blood and Guts. That's going to be tough to put in, I think, though, with 10 people and the rules and everything. That would be some work, but one day, hopefully, they're doing
maybe offline. I don't know, man. I feel like we're giving these guys too much credit, right? Like you're making this game for a couple of years. Why can't you put it in? You know what I mean?
It's tougher though than people think. Like I'm sure they've sat there and they thought about it. Kenny Omega knows like pro wrestling and video games, so he's like, can we do that? And I'm sure that the guys at Ukes are probably like, well, Kenny, let me tell you the problems. There's pros and cons. This will take a long time to build. So
yeah, well, Kenny Omega probably not listening to this video, but if you are, why can't you put it in? I don't care about your time frame, bro. Brian, sorry, I care about you though, buddy. But Brian, why can't we put it in?
Maybe the new motto when it comes to the game, Brian. Why couldn't we put it in?
Yeah. I hope he comes back and listens to this. Just Brian, why couldn't we put it in? So Steve Kelly, they should put Brody Lee on the cover. They probably will.
I'm sure he'll be in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if -1's in the game.
I think that they already announced that they were going to be in the game, didn't they?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I would love for Cody to be in. Cody was someone I was looking forward to seeing what he looked like in the game, and I don't know what his status is.
Yeah, yeah. We'll have to wait until WrestleMania to find out if we're getting trolled or not, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that I question who's going to be in this AEW game, because are we going to add some indie wrestlers in there too? Or are they just going to like credit some of these guys? Or are we just going to have a small roster? What do you
Before
think
we
is going
move
to
on,
happen
can
on
I
this
give you my
roster?
crazy theory idea?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Have you ever played on? Did you have a PlayStation before? Like
Yes.
original PlayStation?
Oh yeah, yeah. Of
All
course.
right. Do you remember the game WCW versus the World?
Oh yeah.
All
Yep.
right, bro. AEW, listen to me, bro. Tony, Kenny, Brian, whoever can communicate this. If you need a name for it, you guys could call it AEW versus the World. You talk all that Forbidden Door shit all the time.
Yeah.
Sign the New Japan dudes, sign Impact, sign all of them.
ROH.
Those are your DLC packs, bro. That is money. Then you can have other people added in at the same time. This will be good. Trust me.
Yeah.
They've smartly taken away a lot of the legends from the WWE roster. We're gonna get Christian. We're probably gonna get Paul White. I almost called him his other name. Well, but yeah, we'll get all of those dudes, and I think it's dope. And if you have Sting, you got to put Surfer Sting in. I heard that they tried to trademark Captain Insano from the Water Boy. You know that they're gonna be like, oh, it's the Giant, but we can't call him that. Here you go.
Yeah.
Boom, money. So they have a lot of options. That's what I personally would do. And maybe that's money to burn, but maybe you could set up like, hey, New Japan, we work together already, bro, and I want to throw you some money.
I'm down with that, dude.
Put a Liger in for me, just for me. That's fine.
Yeah. I'm down with all of that, dude. I think it would be genius to think about. But oh, sweet. Hey, thank you for the subscribe. We got some new subscribers. I appreciate you. We will be back every Tuesday. James says we need new weapons. I'm going back and forth with YouTube, LOL, working on an order, then heading to the airport. So James couldn't be a part of the stream tonight because he's picking somebody up at the airport. And sounds like he's door dashing at the same time, or whatever he does now. I forgot he doesn't door dash. He works for some other company now, but he's busy. He's busy.
Do Steven you, brother? Said, I got you. Keeping your seat warm.
Yeah, there you go. Steve says, awesome idea, Conrad. James says, thumbtacks, barbed wire items, doors, etc. I'm down for all of that. Look, James, funny story about the doors. So James doesn't watch too much independent wrestling, right? I watch a lot of independent wrestling. And at Roseland, there were no tables. And there were just a bunch of doors being pulled out of the ring and people putting, that's the new thing, doors. So James brought up on our audio podcast that's releasing next Monday, like, what's going on with the doors? Is that the new thing? Are we just replacing tables? They may be cheaper, bro. They may be cheaper, but I would like to see some thumbtacks and stuff like that in the game too. That'd be fun.
I'm all about it. AEW has some crazy, like if you think about the Nick Gage Jericho match, I don't know how crazy they're willing to get in a video game, but I'm happy to see that. I want blood to be able to like be shown online. Like it sucks when you're playing WWE with your friends and you're having a brutal match. You're like, nobody's bleeding. This is it ruins it a little bit at points, but yeah, man, there's AEW Games has a lot of potential. I just hope they can deliver on it.
I feel like there's a way too with WWE to work around that blood online, even though it's corny. I feel like if you have blood turned on in the game and you go online, you should be able to see it on your screen. You know what I mean? And if they have it turned off on their screen, whoever you're facing, then they won't be able to see it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just you can make this work, dude. Like I said, this is a next generation. What are we doing here? You know what I mean? Are we just going to repeat Xbox 360 all over again? Like we've had 2 generations now. Let's figure this shit out. But yeah, I mean, that pretty much wraps it up for the AEW game. I want to get into, we did 30 minutes on that. Definitely have to get in to some Wrestle Code. Conrad, you know a lot more about this game than I do. I just know some of the roster that's being released every single day. What are your thoughts, man?
I really, really like what this game is doing. Like I said, they've got 2 fantastic creators. guys who I just chat with often. Like I go into Dre streams, you'll see me just talking to him, shooting the mess with him. And Viking Size Gamer, we've talked before too. Absolutely, two brilliant minds when it comes to wrestling video games. So that was one thing that made me happy, because I've always wondered why WWE Games never took advantage of the community. You have so many great call creators. You have people who would be a great mind for online. And shout out to the Sim Nation and the Czar for NBA 2K. They hired somebody who was a YouTuber who made videos about it, and he ended up doing the plays because he used to play basketball in college. And he said, dude, why do we not have like plays in the game that are real plays, not these weak screens and all this? Why can't we have the same for wrestling video games? Like, I feel like you would want to go to the community. I need 10 more Bryans versus and I'm talking about Brian Williams versus Joe Blow, who's making excuses for why this didn't get put in and he didn't do his assignment. I need people who care about pro wrestling doing this. And that's just what I feel like the virtual basement team is giving us. They do a lot of like independent wrestling games independent games, period, I should say. And they're really good. They seem like they put a lot of time, effort, even other projects they were working on. They care. So shout out to that crew who's doing all the work on this. And I mean that they're doing a good job.
Dude, Dre was my bread and butter, man, for a few years when it came to call creation on the community creations. So when I found out he was working with this game, I'm all for it, man. Like I'm really excited to see what they have. Mr. Pro Wrestling 1 says, my guys, welcome to the chat, Mr. Pro Wrestling. I appreciate you joining us. Sick is in here. Hello, all. We talking wrestling video games. I'm here for it.
Those are both my guys from Everything Pro Wrestling. We see them often in the comments and chats. What's going on?
That's what's up, man. I appreciate you guys coming in to talk with us. Yeah, we're talking wrestling video games. We just got done talking the AEW game. You're a little late on that one, but there wasn't really too much to talk about. We're just kind of seeing what we would like to see in the game. A good online, as a recap, kind of good online, some new features added when it came to weapon play, or hopefully more grapples, since they've stated that they are more of a striking based game, which Kenny Omega is heavily into. So I hope that it is more of a I can't see him not adding some really cool grapple moves just because of people like Phoenix and all those guys. But we'll just have to wait and see, man. I feel like with as much time as they're taking on this video game, we can expect something good. I mean, we don't expect it to be released at least until 2023, probably around All Out time.
And you know what's my advice to AEW and the wrestling code? TYT, brothers, take your time.
Please. You
want to make a good game, because when we get to this one, there's backlash right now for some of the stuff they did, and you'll hear more about it in a few. But the wrestling code looks good, man. I followed up on a video that Viking Size Gamer did. I want to say it was almost a year and a half ago now, maybe 2 years. I can't remember, but it was like an 8-minute video saying the stuff that they wanted to do in this game. You brought up doors. It sounds like there's going to be like some independent wrestling elements into this. It sounds like they're going to try to have bigger brands. They're going to have DLC, continuous DLC. So they're not making a wrestling game for a one and done. They're making a wrestling game for, we're going to keep building off of this, and then you guys can just keep paying for it if you want to keep playing it.
What was the other wrestling game that they keep building off of that's been around for a little while? It's Fire Pro. Was it Fire Pro?
Fire Pro had it, and I can't think of that. It was the Chikara game, but it's called something else now. I think it's Action Arcade Wrestling or something like that.
Okay, yeah, and they keep adding to it, correct?
Yeah, they're just adding things to it, and it works. Fire Pro eventually had to stop, but I think that you could learn a lot from that. Were their cause the best? No, because you downloaded everything in parts, and that's a whole nother topic we can get into.
I never even played that. I never even played that game.
Yeah, they got a lot of things in there. You can basically create moves, set up everything, create like pieces for your cause, but you have to download them individually. And I was like, that's something you could learn from. Just let me download the person and keep it moving. They also have it where you could download packs. I love that on PC. And I'm like, why can't we do that for like the console games? You just go over and you're like, I'm playing AEW games. Oh, someone's got the entire WWE roster and some arenas and stuff. Download. There you go. It's all there for you. Set money. I'd like to see that, man.
I'm with it, dude. Retromania. Have you played it, Conrad?
No, sir.
I have not played that either. Tell me about it, Frodo. I'm interested.
That one was one that I followed closely. It's based off of WrestleFest kind of, but it was a small roster game and there were a lot of like delays and stuff, and you can't really blame them. But eventually I kind of was just like, the ship has sailed. But I've heard good things from everyone who's played it. Like, yeah, it's fun.
On the Retromania?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
you could type it in on YouTube. I think they're releasing like their DLC guys like Chris Bay, and I think there was like 3 people they announced as DLC. So
James said that the Fire Pro promoter mode was dope.
I did like that, minus when like somebody would quit or you would offer them a lot of money for their one match and they would go to another federation on you.
Damn.
I had that happen live when I was recording a video for everybody, and I was like, oh, that's great. Thanks.
Frodo said it had like a WrestleFest feel to it.
Yeah.
I love that retro game, dude. That was fun.
WrestleFest was great in the arcades back in the day.
I loved that, dude. I absolutely love that game. That just took me back, man. I haven't even thought of that game in forever. You know what? At one of the prestiges we went to here in my hometown in Richland, they had that arcade game set up. Somebody had brought that there so fans could go during intermission and play WrestleFest. I thought that was gnarly as hell, dude. I was really happy about that.
I would have been in, man. I always have to play it. If I have a quarter and I'm walking by, I'm like, yeah, I could do one real quick.
Let's check it out.
Rumble.
Just a quick peek. All right, man. So I got a little bit of images for this game. The models, they're looking all right.
Listen, I think they're going for a here comes the pain feel kind of too with this. They're not. Are they going to be perfect? No, but I feel like this is like when they were on the indie scene and they're trying to make it look right. But the boots look on point. The patterns look good.
No, yeah, the attire looks great. I'm just looking at the model in general. We got another model of Seidel right here that I feel like looks a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have this model.
Hey, Enzo, they got to get Enzo swole now. He was lifting.
Yeah, that guy's definitely packed on some poundage, man. So looking at this ring in the background, and you can kind of see it here with Hassan as well. I love that they have the indie feel to this, and that you can see the canvas cover kind of wrinkled up.
Yes.
And not put on like a WWE canvas would be, I guess.
And you know what? That's Dre.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay, that's perfect, dude. I love that. And
he mentioned in the Muhammad Hassan one that he was like, I wish people could have seen more things like around the ring that I did. He was like, oh, I spent so much time on that stuff and I wanted people to see it. And I was just like, bro, it looks great. Like everybody was like talking about how great the promo looked.
Yeah, it looks good, man. And just the image alone looks really cool. Hassan looks great. I feel like his character looks pretty good. So do you think that this game is going to turn out? Did you ever play the Legends of Wrestling games?
I have, but I wouldn't say for long periods of time.
Okay. I used to love those games. They were different and they were a good break from the SmackDown versus Raw franchise or like the 2K franchises. You know what I mean? It was always good. I kind of liked the Impact game for that too. Every now and then I would go back to that Impact game, even though it wasn't the best, but I would just to get a different feel for a different wrestling game. So that's what I'm really excited about, having 3 sort of mainstream wrestling video games coming out
variety, bro.
Yeah, a variety. Exactly. But a variety of good graphic games, like because some of them always came out, less than others, but we obviously know that WWE 2K22 is going to be a simulation type game. Do you think that we can see that from the wrestling code? Sorry about that.
The wrestling code should be simulation based. I feel like I feel like they're going to go for that real feel. Like it's hard to explain the simulation aspect to it because you want sim to a point is what I feel like it is, because you kind of want the arcadey stuff. And that's where it gets weird because some people are like, yeah, I don't really think Matt Sydal should be lifting up. I'm trying to think of somebody who's huge in the game. Big Sal Graziano, like he shouldn't be body slamming him. Some people are going to say. And then there's other people, though, who are like, this is a video game and I want to be able to suplex somebody with Matt Sydal. Why can't I do it? And I get it. So they maybe have to find a workaround with some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it goes for all of them. Like, how far do you want to go down this? People love the stuff. Like, are you a big fan of when you could like run on the treadmill in the one WWE game and then you get like a finisher for it? and then you could like hop off and do that type of stuff, or the helicopter.
I'm like I said, I'm more of a simulation type of guy, but all that stuff was fun to do when you're playing around with friends. There were late nights, man. So many late nights on the SmackDown versus Raw series where we would just pretty much go in there and fuck around on every little detail of the game in the backstage modes or whatever the case
I
is.
think I just miss being able to do it. Like, why can't we jump off the SmackDown fist? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't you just have something like that in? It's to me, it's not a problem. Even the helicopter thing. Like, imagine just one night you're sitting there playing the game and you're outside. All of a sudden, a helicopter. What the hell is this? Oh, I can climb this. This is dope. Okay,
yeah.
Now what? And you can just get into it a little bit. So
no,
that's what I want.
I'm into it, man. Like I said, I'm more simulation based, but I'm all for any other little feature that you're willing to add for us to have some fun in it, man. Because it's not all about one person in particular. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to the 2K franchise, I feel like they have been catering to a lot more other people. They just made a shitty game. That's all. They just got the.
It's tough though, man. Like it all just depends on who you're dealing with and what's gonna happen. Like there's different crowds. They tried that Mortal Kombat mode in 19 and you tried, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
I played the towers though, you know, it's just what it is.
I wasn't a fan. I'm not a fan of the towers mode in particular, but what are you expecting to see out of the wrestling code? I mean, do you expect to see some indie style matches, a bunch of light tubes everywhere and shit, and just get that real indie feel?
See all that. You got to take advantage of to me, it's like a SWOT analysis. Once again, you gotta look at what are your strengths compared to these other two. Those two are mainstream. You don't have limits. Like there's Kenny telling AEW Games like, hold on, Tony don't want that. We can't do that. And even that, Kenny seems more loose. WWE is strict. Like Triple H cannot even be getting body slammed on the back of the box. Okay. And I feel like with the wrestling code, it's free reign, bro. They're just making a video game. The key for them is to get everyone to mocap their stuff. They're using mocap. And if you can't get everyone to do it, I say don't do it.
Yeah. And they got a huge roster too. That is a monster roster. Y2K2200, welcome to the chat. Thank you for joining us.
What's up, Y2K? I know him.
Okay, he says Towers was aight. It was aight. Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
He's one of the few people that did that $1 million challenge and beat it. I was like, how, bro? How did you do it?
I did beat the challenge. I beat the challenge, but it just was, I don't know, it wasn't fun. It wasn't too fun to me. So here's my bitch on all that. If you're not going to improve on certain game modes in the game, and there's always a limit, right? There's always a memory to it, so to speak. There's that limit, and we can't fit it in the game. If you can't fit it in the game, don't give me stupid shit. You know what I mean? Give me something that we're going to see on wrestling or something that we're going to want to play. Like if you can't make the universe mode,
the big head mode.
yeah, stupid shit like that. It's like, why are we adding this stuff in when we could be fitting something else in?
I blame WCW Nitro for that.
Well, whoever takes the blame, it was an idiot. It was an idiot move. I wasn't a fan of it. I just say don't waste time and energy on something that the fans really don't care for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it's not something that's gonna catch our attention and we're gonna continue to play it like the Towers mode, like I'm sure nobody played that over and over and over again and was just like, this is the best mode ever, you know? Didn't fuck around with universe mode or anything. It was just Towers. Said no one ever. You know what I mean? So this is a wasted mode in the game when we could have maybe put some more focus on a universe mode or on the online. Yeah, like hello, let's focus on something that matters in the video game. If we don't have room to play around with certain things, then let's put our time and energy in the things that we do want to promote the most.
I think they'll also have a lot of like creation modes from what I'm understanding. The promotional manager sounds like a lot of fun from what James wants them to be able to do, what he could speak about on it. And James is Viking Size Gamer, excuse me. I just called his real name out, but the aspect too of it where in his video he mentioned that they wanted to have like match rules that didn't hold any limits. So like if you wanted to do a special guest referee, tornado tag, street fight match, you could. Or if you wanted to, you think of any crazy match, and he wanted you to be able to do that in all modes across the game. And then the other thing was if let's say Ring of Honor wanted to be in the game, you buying the DLC supports Ring of Honor. Like they're going to get a piece of that. So whatever you purchase in the game, you're supporting that wrestler as well, which could be a good thing for some of these cats, man. Like, oh man, that RVD is looking dope.
Really, I hate the way his face looks.
He's not done yet. I'll say that. Dre spoke about that. And Dre has also mentioned multiple attires. He was kind of asking what attires we would like to see for him. And I was like, okay.
There's so many.
Yeah. And I love that they're going to do multiple attires and multiple versions. Like you'll get current day RVD, but they may also do like ECW RVD in his prime.
Oh, I hope so, man. I hope so. We had some good attires from RVD, and man, there's just so many options. I'm glad that they're adding in the attires. That's one thing about the 2K franchise I couldn't stand, was that they gave us so many different versions of one character. We had the attires on a couple of the years on 2K, and I couldn't remember which ones they were.
Yeah, they did it for some years. Like I know Shut Your Mouth used to have it to where there were like 3 different, like I think it was Jeff Hardy or Hogan or somebody had like different attires. I'm like, why can't they do that now?
Yeah. And also you can change the color themes to them. I think you could still do that. But I know that one of the games glitched out for it because I used to make all my own custom attires for everybody.
I think 12 used to have it real bad where it would slow down and stuff.
Yeah. You couldn't even hop online with that shit. Apparently they did census and nobody really cares about online play. Not gonna lie, I get disrespected when I heard, I got disrespected when I heard that. Hard to give ideas when even the devs don't care. Yeah, that hurts, man. I remember there was a big deal about that too. And I used to be one of those advocates for online play. Yo, tell us the online. And everybody would tell me, dude, nobody cares about the online. Like, you don't care about competition? Like, that's what wrestling is. Fuck competitive, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
Because for us, if you're not a creator, so to me, each mode has its own people. Like, I don't create, but I love downloading creations. Yeah. I don't sit in there and play my career because it's buns. I don't play universe mode all day because it gets boring after a while, because if you could beat everybody, I go online so that I can get a level of competition that I'm like, okay, this is a little bit challenging. Cool. I'm sweating bullets a little bit in this match versus when I'm playing the AI where it's like, oh, this sucks.
Exactly, man. I just loved I loved competition in the games. And not only that, man, you can meet some really cool people. And like you did the eFed thing, and eFeds were a lot of fun and creative. And dude, there were websites that I used to go on with the eFeds, and you write out a promo, all sorts of stuff. It was fun, dude. It was so original and creative, and it was a cool way to engage with people.
We still save ours, and we go through, and to this day, Sick knows, we're all in the chat, Y2K as well. And we will talk crap about some old stuff that happened years ago. Like we were just making fun of one of our friends in one of the chats about he lost a match in like record time to me, and it was a fatal four, and everyone was like, "Oh, you're gonna kick out, bro! It's the first finisher," and he did it. They just dragged this dude the whole time, dogged him.
When I was in an eFed, quick story about my eFed days too. I ended up getting into a match with James. And we ended up getting pinned in this tournament or something. And this fool picked like Andre the Giant or something stupid in his eFed. And I can't remember who I was, but this fool did like this flying splash off the top or something you would never see Andre the Giant do. And I used to kick out of everything, dude. Like I was just one of those button mashers that was able to kick out of everything. Dude, for some reason, this Andre the Giant, I did not kick out of this splash. He beat me with a splash, and I've never lived it up, man. He still to this day posted in our chat, remember that Andre splash? Dude, shit was like 12 years ago. Get over it, man. Fuck. All right, I guess we will start talking about the main event, and I know Conrad has a thing or two to say about this one. Does it hit different?
If you put S in front of hits, you got my exact opinion about this game.
You could say it. It shit's different.
Dude, I don't know, man. Like, where do we begin with this? They've had extra time. They got new people on this project. I get it, bro, but there are a lot of missteps with this, and I don't know if you feel the same way, Jesse. But
Let's start it out with my GM.
Okay, the GM mode, bro. We didn't have forethought to think like, okay, people really want this game back. I would have rather you worked on universe mode or added elements of GM mode in the universe mode than to give us what you gave us. Like, you mean to tell me there's only one men's title and a women's title? You can't even defend tag titles, the IC, US titles. Like, this is real WWE sim stuff. Like, you apparently don't care about the mid card.
Let me stop you right there. You can't even defend tag titles. This shit says create your own highly customizable brand experiences for you and your friends to play against each other. Customizable brand experience. I wish I could underline this right now.
I think
doesn't sound very customizable.
One.
Huh?
I think this is a concept one, though. I think somebody made a concept video for that one. Yeah. Because they just released the menu and it looks a little bit different, but you can't even do all that stuff. Like, I think that's what people wanted, though, was the ability to customize. Like, if we were going to go against each other, Jesse, we could have did a GM mode universe where it's me versus you. I take these half of the belts and you take the other halves, whatever, Raw or SmackDown. And then we could have went against each other and just called it like, oh, I'm the red brand, everything pro wrestling, and you're the pro wrestling shoe because you've got the blue. Yeah. They didn't even like have the foresight to do that. They were like, dude,
let me pitch you an idea that as soon as I heard GM mode was coming, I was like, oh, we can have fun with this. You know, we have a Twitch channel. We're actually live on Twitch now. We have a Twitch channel that we could start gaming on. I was like, I have a great idea, man. We can get everything pro wrestling in on it with the pro wrestling shoot. If this shit is online, I can create my brand. He can create his brand, and we can see whose show wins in this booking situation, or even with James too. Like, we can have our own stuff going on. It sounds like they completely effed up every single aspect of this GM mode. If you can't even defend tag titles or defend titles in general, what's the point? Six said they took from Mortal Kombat, but they took the wrong things. Could have given us a King of the Hill mode where you create a lobby with friends and keep playing until you get beat by someone and give props. Hey, that would have been cool. He also said dated roster due to massive roster cuts over the past year or so. A GM mode that's a shell of what it was originally and no real improvement for online. I agree with that. Steven says, I want to take you all on. Well, we'll see how the online is, buddy. And then we'll talk. We'll get into that a little bit. But yeah, dude, I mean, I just feel like for a mode that has been screamed for by fans for years now, dude, to come back and give us such a limited ass mode blows my fucking mind. I can't.
But listen, so I'm going to blame both sides on this. It's not just WWE and it's not just 2K, but first I'm going to go after the fans a little bit. You remember why GMO got removed, right? I'm going back to the IGN board days. There were people crying and, oh, we don't need GM mode in the game. We need to focus on this instead.
I was probably one of those guys.
Yeah, and people were saying that. And I'm like, oh, how we forget over the years. We play this revisionist history sometimes to where it's gone for a couple years and then those people started crowing up. No, I wanted that in. That was a great mode. It was, but they never improved upon it. And WWE Games has a problem with let's add stuff and never improve on it. I don't understand why people do such things or why they're just like, nah, no, I'm not gonna get into it.
It's wrestling fans in general, though. You know what I mean? Once they get champions that they want, like take Adam Hangman Page for instance. You know what I mean? Oh, he needs to be the champion. Now they're like, meh. Can we make this person champion now? You know?
Well, wrestling fans have the what's next? That's all they can see.
Yeah, they just push forward. Exactly. And they push forward too fast.
James Pro wrestling is the story that never ends. It's the never-ending story, is what I tell people. just the next chapter.
I wish I had a soundbite for that movie right now. I would totally hit that shit.
Yeah.
Renegade says a subpar GM mode. B-Boy Skyline, the ICW always messes stuff up. Yep. I think he meant the IWC, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's what it's going to be, I guess, for it. There's a lot of things that are missed, kind of. Like, I saw some people going off like, why isn't Paige in the game? And where's the Bella twin?
Is there proof that she's not, though? Because there are some, like, they did release the full roster, but there are some stuff that hasn't been released.
Yeah, like Batista apparently is in the game, but people didn't know that. Shawn Michaels is in because he's in the showcase mode, and some of the stuff in the showcase mode is hidden. But then I had a buddy call me today, and he was like, "Oh, Rey Mysterio is wearing his attire from Armageddon, the show. We went to that show in Buffalo where Jeff Hardy actually won his first WWE title." Okay. And Rey Mysterio fought CM Punk on that show, so they're like, "Is CM Punk in the showcase?" And I'm like, I wouldn't bet on that. Like,
no,
that seems ridiculous. But I saw Rey Mysterio 96, and he fought Liger at that Starrcade. So are we getting Jushin Thunder Liger?
I'm afraid. I know you've been like advocating for Liger to be in this game, but I don't think we're getting him, man. Even though he was put in the Hall of Fame, I don't think that we're gonna get him,
bro. But Jesse, here's my point: why would you tease us then with Starrcade 96 pack Rey Mysterio? What do you think I'm gonna think then?
Yeah,
oh, they're doing that, then they must be putting the arena in. We're gonna get Ligers, the showcase. You gotta think 2K. And when you get
this is a game that put Road Dogg Jesse fucking James in the game without thinking about Billy Gunn not being like, why would I want to play as Road Dogg without having badass Billy Gunn by his side?
Bro, they finally fixed the NWO and there's no Sting.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Yeah, no Sting. You got the NWO. Oh my gosh, dude. It's a shit show when it comes to the roster. I think that now they're just kind of like filling in the blanks, right? They had to take so many people out of this game that they're just like, who could we throw in? Road Dogg will take a check.
Yeah.
let's put Road Dogg in there.
And at this point, though, and for years, how long have people advocated, like, dude, put in Billy Kidman? They have that rich history from WCW, and they never take advantage of it. Never. And I'm like, dude, put in those guys. Like, you can use them. DDP and all them, they don't have, DDP should probably be in all three of these games. Do it. Why not? Why not?
Is he going to be in the AEW game?
You know what? Why wouldn't he? He had a match against MJF. Why not put DDP in? He's in Wrestling Code. He did his own stuff, dude. Wrestling Code is so precise. They even have him doing like how he acts in tag matches on the ropes. Like he was like reaching, doing his. I don't know why I specifically remember DDP in every tag match would like do something with his fingers where he's like out there doing that. And I'm like, that's dope that they made him like mocap that.
So Six says, like I told you, CJ, look, man, I'm just trying to make it to the AEW game release. WWE already has my $120. I'm just talking and wait and see and approach. Hopefully we'll get the 2 new wrestling games next year. I think that's going to be the case. It's definitely going to be 2023. I don't see either of those games coming out this year. We're going to have, but that's the good thing though. I feel like that's a great thing because we're going to have some time to cool off from this 2K22. And I think that these other 2 companies are doing that strategically because they know that 2K is going to fuck up in some way, that fans are just going to get tired of it. And then when those new games release, everybody's going to flock to buy them.
And I think that, so here's the weird thing. 2K's in a bad position too. If I can get businessy on you real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
2K's contract is up, I believe, with WWE around this time.
Yep.
For years, bro, I campaigned for 2K to get this game because I loved NBA 2K at the time. But over the years, 2K has kind of like faded away from what I used to love, the sim aspect of basketball. And they've kind of got real wonky and became more about like making money off the games versus like making a really great video game. And when you look at WWE's relationship with 2K, this is where I'm going to start placing the blame on both sides. I mentioned it before. WWE releasing a bunch of people does not help 2K at all. they were probably effing up 2K's plans left and right, even though they knew 2K's plans. They were like, sorry, it's our company. We do what we want. You don't control our money. You make the
By
game
the way,
for us.
take
You
this
do what
guy
I
out of
tell
the
you.
game.
Yeah. and hit that delete button again. Thanks.
Yeah.
And no, you cannot use CM Punk because we hate him. Oh, okay, guys. Thanks. Whatever.
Right. I was actually, so when CM Punk was doing the SmackDown talk show, the Talking Smack or whatever it was, when he was on that, I was like, oh, could we get a CM Punk in the video game? And then he came to AEW and I was like, well, there goes that.
Yeah, I've been told that people do not like CM Punk in WWE. Like, he's kind of like, don't mention his name around higher up people because they get upset. Whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why I find it hard to believe when people were like, well, maybe Punk's in the game. And I'm like, I don't see it. And with 2K, here's where 2K is going to get the blame, though. You've had this game since 2K. I think we saw some of their marketing on 13. 14, they just slapped their name on it. Brian Williams and THQ.
2K was 12. It started off at 12. So SmackDown versus Raw 2011 was the final SmackDown versus Raw. And then WWE 12 came out. And I think that's what had the 2K brand on it.
I thought it was 13. Maybe I'm wrong. I know 14 was made by THQ before they went out. And then 2K slapped their name on it. So it was WWE2K14. But we know who made it. Okay. 15 was when they took over because the graphics got better. And I feel like we're at that point. It's like that 08, 15, and now 22. It's we're brand new, where we got a new vision, and we're going to do this. I'm like, how many times have we heard this, bro? We're laying the foundation again to make a great game. Cut the shit. I'm just over it, in my opinion, with the excuses, all the time that it's taken. I heard 2K wanted more time, and WWE is forcing them to they're like, we need a game, we need this money. And I get both sides of it, but WWE can't rush this process. I don't know how this is going to turn out for them. If you're WWE, are you keeping 2K or are you kicking them to the curb?
It depends on how this game goes, to be honest. Like, it really does have to hit different and not shit different, but we'll have to wait and see, man. Six says, watch the 2 new games drop next year, and WWE drops a hit game that year and gives us all the things they said wasn't possible in a game. Just like when TNA dropped their game.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Cactus from XGW. He always uses that as his example. He says, remember when TNA came out, that all of a sudden we started getting Inferno matches and shit? And I was like, he's right. Like, we can't do that. It's too difficult. TNA's coming out with a game that's going to be like No Mercy. Here you go. We got the fire in now.
Yeah. Go ahead and take it, man.
I got to argue with James in the chat. You got to put up his comment for me.
There you
go.
I
want everyone to see this.
EA could take over WWE. So here's my thing. I'm going to start before you. EA is so shitty at making sports games. They are the worst. Dude, when EA took over the UFC game, fucking garbage, dude. I'm sorry.
I like the THQ one's better too.
Dude, the THQ, I fucking dare anybody to go back and check out some of my UFC 2, I think it was. The UFC 2 on THQ. I'll fucking wreck everybody. I will pick that game up after years of not playing it, and I will still wreck you at that game, dude. That was my jam. And then when EA came out, the physics were terrible. I do not want to see EA pick this video game up.
Is it my turn?
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm waiting for this. No. I just wanted to say this. Listen, fuck EA Sports ever doing another wrestling game again. You know why? WCW Backstage Assault. That is all I need to say.
I got to do this for you, Conrad.
A wrestling game. Just the Jeff Hardy. That's it in it. Dude, they had a wrestling game with no fucking wrestling ring. Who paid you to do this? I watch wrestling and this is what I see on TV, and you got people fighting in urinals, bro. And it looked like shit. Go click Ric Flair's model in that game and just look at it. You will be pissed. EA Sports better not touch shit. Madden has sucked. FIFA's about to leave them too.
Yeah.
I'm done with them. Like, absolutely.
EA's trash. And dude, you know what? I hope that WWE, if they do get rid of 2K, I hope they pick up a company that's not a yearly release. Don't give us a yearly release.
They want that money, man. I'm telling you.
Dude, you can make your money in all these microtransactions, dude. Like, you can make your money back in that. Give
And
us
DLC.
DLC. Continue, dude. Look at GTA, man. GTA has made so much money over the years over that GTA Online. You cannot tell me that WWE couldn't do the same. Update your roster, bro. If you're gonna like release people from your game, then fucking delete them off my game. I don't care. Delete them. You know, I'll be bummed for a minute, but give me somebody new. Give me an updated roster. Give me updated matches. Give me
Or
updated
just keep them in
arenas.
until you're ready for the next game. It's a video
Yeah.
game. It's not like you're
Yep.
working with the dude. Just send him his check and keep it moving.
Right. I'm a big advocate of I want a wrestling game for one generation of consoles. Let's make that happen. Just keep
Yeah.
updating this shit. Keep updating your servers. Focus on your gameplay in general. Focus on your online modes. Focus on if universe is the thing you're going to do, focus on your universe mode. You can do so much to make money off of this game by updates alone. Like you'll make your $65 back easily. You know what I mean? Make a giant DLC pack each year that makes you pay your $65, you know?
Your chat is killing me. I just looked at the chat. Sorry.
Which one?
Six said they can build a foundation with all that, or they can build a city with all that foundation they've been putting down. They say that every time they release a new game. This is the foundation.
Yeah.
Before Skyline said, I hate EA, and somebody said, ew, don't do an EA Sports game.
Yeah. Nobody is a fan of EA, dude. I cannot stand EA. I don't buy their games anymore. It's not my thing, bro. The only thing that I bought, I think, was Madden, and even that I don't buy anymore.
Yeah,
So,
it's not an every year purchase like it used to be.
yeah, it's just not my thing, man. I hope, and if you ain't gonna do a game, you know, obviously we're not gonna do a wrestling game that lasts for a whole generation of a console, and I get it, I do. But if you're gonna pick up a game, don't do a yearly release, man. Just make this game worth 2 or 3 years. That's what I praise AEW for, that they're gonna be making this game. It's not gonna be a yearly release.
Wrestling Code too. They said
Wrestling
the same
Code
thing
as well. Yeah. So I mean,
I hope WWE learns from it, and I think all the sports games need that at this point. I'm talking all the yearly release games like Call of Duty, all that stuff. Take the extra time, bro. It's worth it. Like we will invest in your game if it's good.
Yeah,
but if
absolutely.
it's garbage, I'm not putting in.
Dude, they have me every year regardless of if the game sucks. Like why? Like I said, microtransactions, bro. You got something new in the game that I'm playing, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah,
that's just how it is. I want everything on the game, so why wouldn't I buy it?
And I think we're at a price point too. When the games are $70 on these new consoles now, it's like, okay, hold on. For $70, this game better be good when it comes out. I don't want to hear like, oh, this is a work in progress. Like we're gonna be updating it and stuff like that. Don't give me that BS.
Chris is over here telling James Pinar Jr. to shush, bro. Shake my head. Frodo says, yeah, 2-3 years is good. Yeah, absolutely, man. There's no reason why they couldn't do that. B-Boy Skyline says EA Sports Big only had two good games, Def Jam and Def Jam. Fight for New York. Okay, so Def Jam.
Hold on now. That the NFL Streets and the NBA Street games were good too. Don't
they were
hate
fun.
them.
They were fun, dude. And I had high hopes for that UFC game when it first came to EA because that trailer totally trolled me into getting that game, right? Because the trailer made it look so flawless, man. When you get it and you felt the physics in that EA UFC game, like what the fuck, bro?
Yeah,
you
dude, I
just
tried to
ruined
play the
something
latest
great.
one. My brother was like, hey, try it out. And then I'm playing it. I'm like, dude, why are we fighting in a backyard? I'm like, dude, I'm done with this. Like, what happened
Bro,
to EA?
this sucks. So my nephew is a UFC fighter and he's in that fucking game and I refused to buy it. And I wanted to like buy it to support him. I can't even buy it because EA sucks so much. Like I won't buy it. And I told him that. I was like, sorry, nephew. I know you're in the game. I'm not buying that piece of shit. It's not happening. So Dan Ige, by the way, shout out to Dan Ige. That's my nephew. If you watch him on the UFC, if you know, you know. Badass up and comer. Go check him out. Follow him on all of his social medias. James said NFL Street and FIFA Street was good. NHL was okay. So NHL was probably the only game that I buy continuously on EA. That is the only game. And even that, they're fucking
Hockey's not bad for it.
Yeah, no, hockey was fun until they took out online team play. So when they took out the online team play mode,
is that out
trash.
now?
It was for the last game I played, and I did not pick up the new one. I didn't pick up the new one, but the last game that I played was a couple years ago. So
that's the best part. Get online with your buddies and trying to win a game.
yeah, and you play as one player. I loved that concept of it. Like you pick whatever player you want to play. You want to play right wing, left wing, center, the two defensemen, left defense, right defense, or a goalie. You can even be a goalie, dude. I had some friends that were actually good at being goalie on that game, and it was so sick to watch them play. I sucked at goalie personally. I'm a right wing type of guy, or
I'm a defenseman.
Look, my buddy Mike Smith is in here. He was one of the guys that I played NHL with all the time. NHL hasn't been good in a minute though. Probably 2015. See,
Yeah,
that's
NHL
so maybe it's been more than a couple years for me because that was the last time I played was with him. So if he hasn't played since 2015, then that was it.
How come nobody called in? You're talking.
Yeah, everybody's got this chat going, guys. Fuck. Call into the show. Let your voice be heard, man.
I heard that in Chris's voice, his last comment right there.
Yeah, I don't play no damn hockey. So there's the number, guys. You can call in. I'm going to take it off for a split second, though. It says, Mike, you held our team up. So James also played the hockey games with us. The EA UFC games are just fight night with kicks and submissions, and that's not a good thing, surprisingly. Yeah. I don't even know what to say.
Even with them, bro, you could have did 1 year, you do EA Sport or EA Sports UFC. Cool. Then the next year you could have did Fight Night. Then you flip back and forth. Just have the team switch it up even and just keep smaller teams for DLC.
I muted myself. My bad. Absolutely. There's just so much shit they can go. So we've got some of the negative out. Like I said, I want them to focus on online. I want them to take out a lot of spamming shit and please no freezing this year. Hopefully they get all those bugs figured out. I didn't see any last year.
Worth it.
So they haven't announced anything on DLC, but dude, these character models do look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. These graphics look fire. Brock Lesnar's beard's a little weird. I seen him in an actual gameplay and I don't know. It looks a little weird to me, but other than that, he looks great. Roman Reigns looks great. Here's a picture of the Biker Taker, which is a little strange to me.
I like the guy liner. I'm a fan.
Yeah. Hey, guy liner rocks that shit. So there's a blurry picture of some gameplay mode, which is so are you a fan of some of the stuff? So they took out the reversal limit. Are you a fan of that?
So, okay. I'm part of the reason to blame why it got put in as well. Y2K in the chat is the reason for it because we had a league match the one time and this dude was spamming the reversal button. And I'm like, okay. We call it stalling when you wait to hit your finisher where you just stand there for a second.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I'll never forget. We were playing a match and I pick him up and I'm like, bro, all I hear is the tick, 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 tick. And I'm like, are you going to stop pressing it? Like you're just pressing the button at this point, praying. Yeah. He's like, well, now you're stalling. And I'm like, you've reversed everything else that I've done. This is getting ridiculous going back and forth. And I was like, I wish they would cap it eventually and just let you like not be able to reverse. Well, I got my wish and I regretted it because then eventually the game turned into the stomp fest. Like, oh, he reversed on the ground. Good. Now I can clothesline him as soon as he gets up. All right, stomp, stomp, stomp. Got him again. Okay, now I'll just hold my finisher until he's out of bars and now he can't reverse. Perfect. I win. And I don't think that's any fun either. So I'm happy that they're gone now. I just wish that there was more strategy to reversing. I missed the 2 button when they used to have it.
Me too, man. That took the most skill to me. And I hate, look, I get it. You're going to make a game that anybody can pick up and play because you want to get more sales. That's the main goal of a video game. But for us veterans of this game, we wanted skill in this game, and you had to guess whether or not this was going to be a strike or a grapple. And that's what was the defining moments in the game, right? You didn't know if I was going to hit a signature or finisher with that Y button, that classic Y button at the time. You didn't know if I was going to hit that shit. And I just missed that, dude. There was so much skill involved in that game, and they had good kicks and stuff that wasn't too cheap. They had a lot that were cheap. So if you had a striking move, it was too quick. You remember that what was that super kick, that real quick super kick that they had in like 2011?
Yeah,
you just hit that.
They had multiple super kicks. I want to say it's like super kick 5 or 7, maybe.
But it was just for a strike, though. It wasn't a
Yeah.
finisher or nothing like that. Dude, I had that shit on my main. All I had to do was press X for that. Boom. I'm hitting you with
Done.
that kick on online, dude. Like, I was so tired of being frozen and stuff. I had a cheap character just built to go on there and wreck people, man, because I wasn't fucking playing anymore. But we had players matches, and that's where I had fun, dude. And that's what I really wish that they would brought back, and they did in 2K20, but unfortunately that game sucked, so it doesn't even matter. Let's see here.
Y2K in the chat laughing. He knows that shit's true.
The graphics are the only thing that gets better every year with the wrestling games, unfortunately. That's a fact. And this motherfucker don't even play wrestling games anymore, but that's definitely true. James says, I'll call, fuck it, driving to the airport. Well, you got soon, man. You got a very short window, man. We're going to end this stream here pretty soon. And then 6 says positives for 2K22 for me. No more reversal limits, improved graphics, and able to play a wrestling game at 60 frames per second. I'm excited for that, but not as excited as I would have been 8 years ago. Yeah, that's facts too. I'm excited about this game. I feel like it's got more pros and cons. We'll have to see. I think that reversal spinning back kick is real lame. I don't like how they have that as a reversal, especially seeing somebody like Brock Lesnar do it. That's a little weird for me to watch, but other than that,
yeah, Rey Mysterio and Sasha Banks hitting Spanish flies for reversals. I'm like, what the hell is this?
So this move, me and Michael created back in Here Comes the Pain. It's we called it the pain of the game, and we put the Swanton Bomb on Stone Cold Steve Austin and the shooting star press on Triple H. And we would hit a finisher at the same time. You know what I mean? So one would hit and the other one would hit on the computer. We called it the pain of the game.
Nice.
Frodo said, that's kicking it way back, dude. Me and Mike played all the old original SmackDowns before there was an online. Speaking of kicks like that, the kick Ahmed Johnson did in Warzone was horrible. Oh crap. I haven't thought of Warzone in years. I don't ever want to think of that game again, actually. Steve says, what arenas are going to be in WWE 2K22? Well, we know what arena is going to be in there, but what wrestler's not going to be in there? That good old Starcade with no Liger.
We'll see, man. Once they do that showcase, I think they're doing some reveal on Thursday for it, some ringside report. We'll see what Lionel Jinx and the homies have to say about that. But I'm trying to think. I know that they're going to have the what was it called? The Thunderdome. They're going to have that crowd in the game. I saw videos of that. They got the updated Raw, SmackDown. They even have like the older versions of them when they first came out. So they're going to have quite a few. Bash at the Beach if you get the NWO version and Sold Out, which would be pretty cool, I think, to see. Like Six said, I want to see what the graphics look like for it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to put my money down because I talk so much crap about 20 and never played it. I just want it to be better.
I think everybody wants it to be better at this point, man. It's just one of those situations.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I thought I was getting a call. That's actually my wife telling me, hurry this shit up.
Uh-oh.
She's ready for dinner. Let's see. We'll wrap it up here soon. Those were the days James was so trash. Chris, James was so trash. Lionel Jenkins.
Listen, Lionel, he's going to have to hold that 2K20 because he went in there telling everybody, yeah, it's going to be a great game. And they're never going to let him live that down.
I'm sure. What do you think? Do you think more positives than negatives?
Graphically, yes, but not the things I care about. No, I feel like it's more honestly. So listen, what if they came out and said that they have a good online? Would that make up for it? What if the servers are good when we get this game? So here's where I am. I'm willing to give this a chance. I'm willing to dip my toe in because when I saw 2K20, I knew that was an F. Like I was like, oh no, this fake DLC, all this garbage. No, but I think this one's like, okay, I'm hoping that the gameplay's better. I don't know what to expect. Like that combo system has me worried. I'm like, so I'm going to be pressing like circle, circle, triangle, and it's going to do a certain move. That's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I got to see how it plays before I knock it.
I think that it does have more positives than negatives, but I feel like this game I'm gonna have to jump back in and relearn everything. I hate that fact that they've changed everything so much. Mike Smith says, I feel like the story lacks harder every year as well. They never put much thought into storyline. They used to be dope stories.
Let me add to that quickly. So shout out to Justin as well. Justin, I'm friends with him. He used to do the Road to WrestleManias. He used to write them, and
Okay.
he was amazing. Justin Leeper on Twitter. Give him a follow. And they don't do the custom stories anymore, and I really wish that they would, because I'm sick of playing the Rey Mysterio. We've lived it, bro. Like, the older you get, the more you're like, dude, I've seen all these matches. I don't need to play this. Like, give me something new. And I feel like you're just playing stuff that you've seen, and that's not fun, in my opinion. I don't know if you feel the same way about that, but I don't like the showcase modes or whatever it's called.
I'm not too big on them either. As a matter of fact, I don't think I even played through, was it 2K19? I've played that game for 3 years now. I don't think I've ever finished that. I
That
like
was
the universe.
Danielson, right?
I think so. I might have played it. I don't know. I'm not a fan of those. I was more of a fan of the My Career that they had, but even that was like really corny. I did play through that on 2K20, but the game was so bad that I don't even think I finished it.
Yeah, like, it would freeze at certain points. I saw people like playing online. I'm like, dude, definitely never buying this. Like, I would just see it. I'm like, no, never.
Absolutely. So we'll get through a couple more things real quick. Combo buttons. What is this? Mortal Kombat? Exactly. Six says, I think the positives and negatives equal out. Don't know what I'm gonna get, and I'm in a weird place where I'm both worried and excited. Um, I'm more excited for this because I feel like at least it's gonna be playable. I will definitely say that.
I feel like they're playing off of our emotions that we're feeding for a wrestling game too. Like, if you're a wrestling video game fan, like, I will always buy a wrestling. You could tell me it's a crappy game, and I'll be like, yeah, I got to get this. I got to try it. And it's been
Yeah.
years now since we've had one. Like, I didn't play that Battlegrounds garbage, so I'm like, yo, I need this. And even when it was free, I played it. And I'm like, yeah, this kind of sucks.
So James says, I missed the double knockout from, I believe, SmackDown versus Raw 06 or 07. Chris says, real talk, you know how I love creating my cause, but I feel like I'm too old now, bro. I don't want to spend the time creating 90 plus cause. And when he says 90 plus cause, he means 90 plus cause. This guy went fucking ham on hours and hours on that paint tool and creating a whole roster, because he would never use the original characters in the game. Like, anytime that he hopped on a match with you, he would be using one of his created guys every time.
Yeah. Did he use my song in the game? Every year my song was always "Better Have My Money." I ain't got no money. That was always my song.
I'm sure he had a character with that song. He had a character for every song in there. Can I just say, and I'm sure you guys can agree, I've been playing WWE games since I was a kid, and it just sucks to see it in a state that it's in now. Kind of heartbreaking. Yes, I fully agree. I fully agree with that. I can't wait to try this one out, and hopefully goes for the best. Is there a showcase mode? Yes, there's a Rey Mysterio showcase mode. Here we go again. So, I just want my rise to be good. Is that the My Career?
Yeah,
The My
I hope
Rise.
that
Okay,
one's
yeah,
good too.
me too. And that's something that I look forward to. Well, I think we're gonna wrap this one up, man. This went a lot longer than I thought, and I knew talking about 3 video games that it was going to, but if I still want to be married anytime soon, I better get going. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Conrad, everybody that's not already following you, I see our chat is full of EPW originals, but for everybody that's not, go ahead and plug your stuff, man.
Yeah, well, first, thank you for having me on. Always a pleasure to talk video games. You guys can follow me on YouTube here at Everything Pro Wrestling. Always looking for more subscribers, getting closer to that mark that we want to get to, moving to 2K. So help us out with that.
No pun
Also, you guys
intended.
can follow. Sorry.
I said no pun intended.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of when I was saying. I'm like, oh crap. I meant 2000 though. And when it comes to it, you guys can follow me on all social media. If you don't find it under Everything Pro Wrestling, look up at EPW Show. And you guys can follow me on all social media that way: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff.
Well, there you go, man. We're live streaming every Tuesday. I appreciate all the new subscribers that we got today. If you haven't subscribed already, do so. We do a lot more than live stream on Tuesday. We are going to post another video this week. It's going to be, we like posting short news clips or anything that dives deep into something that's going on in the wrestling world right now. Check us out every Monday on our audio podcast, because that's where all the magic happens for us, man. We put together a full creative show, I like to think. I'd love to hear some feedback on it. I know Conrad is a regular listener to our show. Come check that out and give that a chance, because that is nothing like what goes on here. This is more of just conversation and flow and live streaming and keeping it real that way. But on our show, man, we do some pretty wacky shit sometimes. Chris Williams is definitely a star on that show for right now.
For sure. For sure.
Come check out our Trill Talks. And for social medias, yeah, you guys can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and I don't have the symbol up here, but TikTok as well, and Twitch at The Pro Wrestling Shoot, and then Twitter at TPWS Podcast. Once again, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And yeah, I hope you guys had fun talking about some video games. We're definitely going to be doing more video game talk as it gets closer to the release of 2K22, especially when AEW Games gives us some extra stuff. Hopefully I'll be able to hop on your show, Conrad, and chat about that as well. That's going to be a lot of fun. But until then, guys, I'm Jesse Carter. He's Conrad Kushman, and we are out. Peace.
Wrestling! Shoot!